Hey saddle hunters, it's a fall. I hope everybody's getting out and getting into the woods. I just wanted to make a real quick video about tethers or lead straps because I know there's a lot of new guys getting into saddle hunting, and I just thought it'd be helpful to give an overview and a kind of a compare and contrast of three of the most common tree tethers that you can buy. So I've got them right here, the three different ones. This is the Tether, and then this is a hunter safety system rope style tree strap. They make that more for connecting safety harnesses to trees, but a lot of people are using it as a tether. It's not recommended for that, but people have used it successfully. So I'm not going to endorse it, but just know that it's an option. The advantage of the hunter safety system one is that you're going to be able to buy it at most any big box sporting goods store, whereas these other ones, you're just going to find them online. The third one I have is probably the other most common option. This is the tree strap from Arrow Hunter, and you get that when you buy a kestrel or a kite kit from them. You can also buy it separately. Same thing with the tethered. So I'm just going to go into some of the features and kind of the differences between the three of them. The first one I want to touch on is the tethered tether. A couple unique things about this tether. You'll notice that it has a spliced eye. So what that means is that they've taken the end of the lead strap here and fed it back into itself and buried it inside the rope. So that just makes it real clean, less bulk that way, less rope is used, so it weighs less. So that's a nice feature. The second thing I want to point out about this rope, it is a slightly wider diameter than the other two. This rope is a 1/2 inch in diameter, and you'll notice that the sheathing on it seems a little bit softer than the other two ropes. I'm not sure whether that is going to affect how abrasion resistant it is, but we'll get it in the field this fall and find out for sure. This rope is rated for 6,000 pounds breaking strength, so plenty strong enough. The end of it, when you buy it from Tether, they've just basically cut it and they have melted the end of it. What I've done is I've tied a figure 8 on a bite so that if I hook this up in the tree, what I wind up doing after I have clipped my carabiner into my saddle, I then take the tail end and I hook this onto the carabiner. That way, if my prusik knot or my ropeman one, if I was using that, were ever to fail, I would still be connected to the tree. So I would encourage you, if you get this, take the few minutes and tie a figure 8 on a bite on the end of it. This rope comes with a pretty small accessory cord that's used as the prusik knot. So you'll notice as I show you the other two, this one is smaller than the other two, but it comes with a nice carabiner. This is the lightest of the three carabiners that we'll look at. This is a Wild Country Ascent Light, and it is a twist to lock carabiner. So that's the HSS tree strap, 8 feet long, finished length. So now I will show you the one from Arrow Hunter. This is a climbing grade rope. It's made by a company called Samson. This is Samson Predator. It's 11.4 millimeter rope, or 7/16 of an inch, so just slightly smaller than the tethered rope. This is the 12-foot length. So when you go on Arrow Hunter's website, they offer you the option to buy a 6-foot finished length tether or a 12-foot length tether. The 12-foot length tether is actually just a smidge over 10 feet long finished length after all the knots are tied. This also has a 6,000 pound breaking strength. You'll notice that it has a little bit longer of an eye tied in it. I think it's closer to 6 or 7 inches, whereas the tethered rope was 5-inch eye. Still works quite well, but you'll notice when you tie a knot, you just a little bit extra bulk in the rope. This also has a figure 8 on a bite tied at the tag end. So that's nice, comes that way from them. Instead of using a prusik knot, it comes tied with a Blake's hitch, and they use a 10 millimeter accessory cord, and then for a carabiner they are using a Fusion auto locking carabiner. So to open this up, you just push up and twist it and it opens, but it automatically locks when you release it. So that's a nice feature. These carabiners are slightly heavier than the Wild Country Ascent carabiners, but still very, very good carabiners. And I kind of like that they're black as opposed to the shiny silver. So that's the rope from Arrow Hunter. You can also buy Samson Predator rope from most climbing goods stores and tie your own if you feel like it. So that's another good option. The third option I want to show you is the Hunter Safety System tree strap. Of the three, this is probably the stiffest of all the ropes. It is also a 10 millimeter rope, so it's the thinnest in diameter of the three. Since it's not rated in the same sense, they don't endorse it to be a tether. It only has about 1,000 pound breaking strength, but a lot of people are still using it. It comes with a figure 8 tied at the end, probably the smallest. I would guess that to be closer to 4 inches. They have little bands securing the ends, so that's kind of nice. The other end doesn't have a stopper knot. It just is got one of those metal bands on the end as well. So this would be kind of hard to clip into your carabiner, and I don't know if I would trust it. So I would probably wind up tying some sort of a figure 8 on a bite on the end there so that I could clip into the carabiner. This uses quite a large accessory cord as well for the prusik knot. I have replaced the carabiner. If you buy this, and by the way, it's the easiest to source, and it's probably also the cheapest option. You can buy this on Amazon for 18 or 19 bucks. And so it's easy to get, but it comes with a heavy steel carabiner. And what I've done is I've replaced that with a Black Diamond Positron twist gate carabiner. This is a very light carabiner. It's even lighter than the Wild Country Ascent, and I think you can pick them up for like 10 bucks. So if you buy this option, I would encourage you to go ahead and replace the carabiner with something that's a little bit lighter. This is also a good option for a lineman's belt. If you want to buy a lineman's belt locally, this is a good option. It's 8-foot finished length, so it's not overly long, same exact length as the Tether, and you could just girth hitch this onto your lineman's belt on one side, and it's nice and stiff for looping it up the tree. So that is an excellent option. You could use it for a lineman's belt or a tether, and actually to use it as a lineman's belt would probably be a little bit more in line with what it is designed to handle. So those are the three options that you will find most commonly on the market when you're looking for a tether. Let me just show you, and this is not going to be exactly like it is if you had it outside on a tree, but in order to use a tether, you're going to take it and you're going to run it around the tree. So let's say that this ladder here is the tree. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the loop end and I'm going to run it around the tree, and then I'm going to feed it back through itself. And this is called girth hitching it. You want to make sure your carabiner comes through the rope pull, and then you would secure it around the tree as tight as you can, and you're ready to go. But some people have problems with it sliding down the tree. It just gets loose. So there's a few ways to fix that. You can, if you have enough length, run it around the tree a second time before you put it through the end loop. That's one option. I've personally found that a little bit difficult to do. Option number 2, you can take the end of it and run it back through a second time, and that just kind of almost creates a little bit of a knot, and that will hold it pretty well. The third option, some people will go to like Tractor Supply Company and they'll buy castration bands, and they'll put them basically right here, and then when they get to the tree, they'll slide the castration bands up towards where the rope runs through to hold it tight, and that seems to be a good option too. So those are just some helpful tips when you're using your tree tether. Make sure that you keep your lineman's belt connected before you hook into your tether, and then make sure that all your weight is in the saddle and on the tether, and that things are holding securely before you disconnect your lineman's belt. Hope that's helpful. We're going to do another video that just goes over how to use a lineman's belt and how a Ropeman 1 will make things so much easier for you. Hope this has been helpful, and good luck this season.